Grand Rising, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining us this morning. At 9 a.m., we will close our social media and continue on Zoom only. Join us by getting your Zoom link at elizabethvisionaryconference.org. We'll be there until 10 a.m. You can join us now, and we'll see you in the Elizabeth Zoom room. Today, your hosts are Mama Ayaba Bay and Mama Hawa Asaseya. Enjoy. Unmute yourself, Mama.
May this be the best day of your life, warrior queens.
Yeah.
And Evelyn, I love that flowing hair, and my mom's hair will hang down just like that.
Isn't it beautiful?
Beautiful, it's beautiful, especially with all that gray and black mix in it. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Don't hide that.
Oh no.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, today is a grand day. I'm hoping that it's going to flow like I'm imagining it. And if it doesn't, it's going to flow another way. I'm trying to get my lighting straight.
It looks good.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. First, I'm going to start off with, and peace, Hawa.
Hawa.
Asaseya.
Asaseya.
I would like for all of you to repeat after me. I am a warrior queen of transformation.
I am a warrior queen of transformation.
Transformation takes motivational energy.
Transformation takes motivational energy.
So I presume everybody knows what those words mean. So we all are in the process of transforming. We have transformed from the seed of our fathers to the eggs of our mothers. And we have transformed from small little creatures representing ancestors returning to what we appear to be today. I say what we appear to be because no one knows what is yet to come in terms of our own development. So I want you to retire right now from being frustrated. Retire your frustration and enjoy the ride. I myself, I don't like roller coasters. I'm the person that would stand down there and watch you scream and holler. But I am not interested in the roller coaster. However, the roller coasters of life, we have to learn how to navigate our own emotions when those hills go up and then zoom, throw you down. Because in reality, when those times come, I'll give you something that Mama Hawa said. When those times come, go look in the mirror. You haven't gone anywhere. You're still standing right there.
Still there.
You're still there. So we're going to, I would say tackle, but we're going to visit some of those places this morning. As you all know, you always hear me say about a SARS set, and some of the sisters who talk about I am, and different influences in our lives, which makes Elizabeth such a wonderful and beautiful opportunity, because many of us, as different as we appear to look, the platforms of our lives are just as different, And yet they're all interconnected. As we now know, we've been with each other now for what, 3 months, 2 months? So we now understand our interconnectedness. As you also already know, some of you, you have a couple of few musicians in this organization and on this platform. I would say in this sisterhood. You have a few musicians. And as musicians know from bringing the music to the people, we are instruments ourselves. Most of the time, we don't know what we're going to say or how we're going to sing it. But we know we learn the song, we learn the music, but when we go on stage or sit before an audience, we don't really know what's going to happen. So we have come to the understanding that we too are instruments of the divine essence. So I'm going to start off this morning from my book. Let's hope I can hold it up right this time. This right to left is crazy. This is from my book. I want y'all to see the images. See, you see many different symbols of many different philosophical ways of thinking. But as you can also see, it's all in one book. And this is the back of the book. And on the back of the book, it says, when your heart wants for others what it wants for itself, then peace will dwell in the earth. We have to be guardians of our mouths. One of the negativities of people who are endeavoring to practice their spirituality is talking about the negativity of other people. So we have to guard our mouths. And at the moments that we want to say, you know, she'd be better off if she did this, or if he wasn't so that, then maybe he could get along better with people. We want to transfer those things, those types of words to the meditation of visualization. We want to visualize that person in the correct way that, well, I shouldn't even say correct, but in the more peaceful way that would be better for their lives and for yours too, especially if there are people who are continually around you. And we talk about this power that we have. We talk about the power of God that dwells in us. We talk about the power of our ancestors, the angels, the Orisha, the Abasun, the various other names that's used for this divine energy that moves through us like water moves through the rivers and the streams and the oceans and the seas and through our own bodies. We are so connected to each other that if you really could see the connection visually with your eyes, it would probably blow your mind. Mm-hmm. If you could see the energy that's flowing from my body to all of your bodies, from your bodies to my body, if you could see it, yes, it would blow your mind. How do I know it would blow your mind? Because we grew up in a world that does not accept spirituality as reality. Mm-hmm. So we're moving into a different phase in the development of the so-called human. Raul Nefamin calls it spiritualis. We're moving into the transitional stage of spiritualis. What is it that they call a human being in anthropology? You know, like they'll say humanoids, they'll say Neanderthals. Mm-hmm. And I should have wrote a note down about that. But if it comes to me, I'll say it. But spiritualis is where this human, so-called human, is going. So I want to encourage you to stop calling yourself humans. First of all, we say things that we don't even know what it is we're saying. As soon as you say you're a human, you say you descended from a monkey. I didn't descend from a monkey. I told my teacher that in elementary school. I didn't descend from no ape. I don't look like one. I don't smell like one. And I don't have hair growing all on my back, chest. everywhere else. I don't have to go to no place to go get waxed or any of that stuff. I know I'm slick. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna tell you about music. Our sense of music, our attraction to music shows what? That music is in the depths of our being. Music is behind the working of the whole universe. Music is not only life's greatest object, but music is life itself. Music is food for the soul, at once healing, rejuvenating, and energizing. Understand, we're going to have a sister come here Friday that's going to help take us through that experience. On the first creative day, the celestial beings of Leo, through the tone A sharp major, fashioned the matrix of man's physical body with its germinal sense organs and awakened the slumbering divinity within. Now, I got a personal interest in this because I was born during the influence of the energy of Leo. So I'm glad to know that I had such an input in all y'all's lives.
I say.
Okay.
So we want to give thanks to Rastafari. When I first became a practitioner of the principles of Rastafari, and they kept on saying, give thanks, give thanks. And in my mind, I'm saying, why are they telling me to give thanks? Why everybody tell everybody to give thanks? But they're not telling you to give thanks. They're saying, share your what can I say, your joy of God within, with God within. And that's one of the best ways you can do it, is to just give thanks. Something terrible you define as terrible happens, just say give thanks. Give thanks.
You know, Queen, talking about music, music is everywhere.
Yes.
Not just in the songs that are sung. Music is in nature. When you sit and listen to the birds, they have their own rhythm, but it affects our bodies. Yeah. When you go into a facility and you have to wait and you're anxious and then the anxiety flare because you're waiting, but they have the music playing, the subliminal that works here, that resonates within the body to calm you, to settle you. So music is everywhere. How you say music soothe the something beast.
Savage beast.
The savage beast. And that's true.
Yeah,
but,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, but music is in us because we have rhythm. And like you said, they try to shut you down and take all that away from you, slowly breaking your DNA down from what you were born with to do.
Well, let me share this with you about that. No one has the power to break you down. No one has the power to break our DNA down. No one has the power to break. We give that power to people. And
unknowingly.
What?
I say unknowingly.
Yeah,
that thing called transformation. You know, it's the slave mentality, if I can say that, you know, that after a period of time, it has been broken, it has been chipped away until it, you know, it crumbles and you forget this choice that you have.
That's why we'll have grand rising and grand awakenings, because we're going to transform that. That's what we're here to do. And the first transformation is within oneself, so that you can become an example of what the living word looks like. I remember back in the 60s, or back in that period of time, people had a little phrase, certain people had a phrase, saying God is dead. That's because they didn't understand that the God they're talking about dwells within them, as them, and God gave us the freedom to use it in whatever way our mind directs us to use it. But at the same time, we have laws. And I'm not talking about the 10 commandments. I'm talking about universal laws that many of us don't even know what they are, but we see them. When you're a baby and you start growing, there's a law under which you're growing. You're not just growing. When your mother put that breast in your mouth and that milk comes into your mouth or bottle, whatever your mother may have used, that's life coming into your body. But we don't know the law that it represents. That when you intake food, when you intake sustenance, you grow. That's a law. What is it? I don't know. I know quite a few of them, but I don't know all of them. So we represent the living word of God. We represent the living laws of God. That's one of the reasons they're having a problem in the USA, trying to spread it all around the world, with whether or not to have abortions or whether or not to electrocute somebody or when they commit a crime. They're all mixed up because they never put God first. They never put that energy out there. That's never talked about in America. And they have a cute little way that they did it. They made it a law that you cannot even speak about spirituality or the Bible or God in the classroom. Know how I got around that? I said, we're gonna do poetry today, kids, and we're gonna take it from the book of Psalms. So I did poetry.
Oh, you slipped it in.
Oh, I slipped it in so nice. And I said, and they say Shakespeare had a hand in
working in the Bible, yes.
The Bible. And Shakespeare is one of the greatest blasé sleuths to do. See, people kowtow to somebody else's idea of what they should be and how they should be. But that doesn't happen when you put that great creator first. People ask me, I've been asked down through the years of my life, ain't you scared? Well, ain't you scared? But there are some things I'm a little scared of. To go on stage for the first time and open my mouth. I'm scared of that. But as soon as I open my mouth,
it's over, right? Y'all mad now.
Yeah.
You in my house.
And there are times when that spirit will talk to you, and you can't even, I don't want it. Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? That's another thing we don't look at. You have his voice speaking to you. Everybody has. And it's talking to you. And it's saying, go down to 25th and Broad and just stand there on the corner. And you say, I ain't going down no 25th and Broad and stand on the corner. Who are you talking to? Oh, I know what it is. You think you must be crazy thinking something like that. Well, I was in India talking about it. I always give examples of stuff that I do because that's my evidence. But I was in India and like the Adhan woke me up. The Adhan is the opening prayer that the Muslims do every morning at the crack of dawn. And I don't care if you sleep, they wake you up. They do that Adhan over a microphone. You can hear it all over India. Allah Akbar.
When I was in Senegal, you could hear it because it's just all through the morning. It just resonates. Yes. That's the music. That's the sound.
Yes. You. And it was, I woke up, or they woke me up. So I got on up and did what I had to do for my morning ritual. And the spirit said, reach in your suitcase and take a bunch of clothes out. Don't even look at it. Put it in a bag and go downstairs and stand on the corner. I said, okay. So I did it. I went downstairs and I stood on this, like you have an alleyway, and it was a pole, like a light pole right there. And I stood right there. Within minutes, this woman came up to me. And Spirit said, reach in the bag and give her those clothes. So I reached in the bag, I gave her the clothes, and she prostrated herself on the ground and kissed my feet before I could grab her to stop her from kissing my feet. I said, no, you don't have to do that. And then another voice inside me said, you have nothing to do with that. And I said,
Ooh.
so I picked her up and gave her the bag. She went in the bag and started taking clothes out. Like she was gonna take some and leave the rest. I said, no, this is for you. And pushed it, into her arms. But suppose I hadn't done that. Suppose I had just, I ain't going downstairs taking no clothes, standing on no corner. I would have missed an opportunity to be in service, not to her, but to God,
Yeah.
to the ancestors, to myself. So sometimes you think I'm just back to the question, who you talking to?
Yeah.
Just make that a part of your mental vocabulary when you're getting some advice from the higher heights. I'm not saying it will tell you go set that lay the house on fire. I'm not talking about that kind of advice. That's not coming from the right place.
I just wrote about that on my Wise Wound Wellness group on Facebook.
Okay.
And I wrote about, let me just go back here. The world, the earth, space, and time. It presents us with signs, signals, indications, symptoms, warnings, cures, and hints to transfer messages for our guidance and our directions ahead. The ability to recognize this deliverance is from your higher self, your God, your ancestors, your spiritual guide, or whoever it may be that leads you. It is a skill that is easily mastered when you're open to receive, when you allow yourself to tap in to the spheres of light. For some, it's acquired easily. For others, it takes time and practice. And the thing is to open up yourself to be able to listen. Listen.
I like the word you used. You said allow yourself. You're saying right there, give yourself permission. You're saying right there, you have the power. It's your choice. And Heru in the ancient Kemetic pantheon represents the power of choice. And if you have a pen or a pencil, a piece of paper, draw a circle and then put a dot in the middle of that circle. And you will see what Heru looks like. Heru is in the center. And therefore, when he turns, he sees everything. You have two aspects of Heru. One is Heru, the blind, and other is Heru, the seer. We have to begin, those of us who are what we are, spiritual reality. We are spiritual reality. When we leave this world, people say that, many people say a bunch of stuff about where we be going, but I don't try to tell you where you're gonna be going because I don't really know. But if I find out, I'll let you know. I left my body. Well, something in me left my body one time. And I use the word, well, my spirit or my whatever energy, but I don't really know what it was, but it left my body and I was aware of everything, the it that I call myself. And I was looking at my body laying on the bed and I said, oh, I'm going to Africa. And my spirit said, or something said, don't go to Africa. You might not get back in time and someone will find your body and think you're dead. Ooh. So I said, oh, okay. I'm not gonna go to Africa. I'm going over Sister Prema's house. Next thing I know, I was over top of the Brooklyn Queens Expressway and all these cars, I could see all these hundreds of cars, and yet I found a car that she was in. And she was on her way to my house. And I saw what she had on under her coat. So I heard them and got back home, or whatever me that was, came back home. And I came in too fast, that's what I think, because I could hear this sound. And I looked at the candle that was burning, and that sound was matching the way the flame was flickering. I got up out the bed went to my door. I was on the 4th floor walk up. And as some of you know about walk ups, it's 2 flights per level. So I went to the door, to the wall in the hall and hit the bell to ring her in. No one had rung my bell. No one had rung the doorbell. So she came on up to the steps and me and my naive self said, "Oh, Prima, I'm so glad you came. I knew it was you. I saw you when you were driving over the Brooklyn Queens Expressway and you have on a brown suit under that coat." You know what she did? She turned around and left. I think she might have thought I was crazy or something. But that experience, I've never had another one since, but that experience lays close to my mind and my heart as evidence. We are not the body. I'll say that again. Yeah. We are not the body. We might want.
In one of the meditations that I do, it's an Indian meditation, and it's repeated. I am not the body. I am not even the mind. And we just, we're supposed to repeat it like for 20 minutes. And go ahead. I just
let me add another one for you, because Rastafari's never used negative words, or I should say Rastafari's always use positive words. See the difference? Yeah. I can say they never use negative words. I can say they always use positive words. And it's a different energy. So I would recommend that you also include I am a divine being. I am a divine being. And it works within you. It does its own work. Just like when we did the thing about meet me, we did that meditation that time, we told our energy to meet us. We didn't tell it where to meet us or anything. But somehow, many of you who talked about it, it met you where you needed to be met.
Mama Ayaba?
Yes, ma'am.
Danny would like to share.
All right. Please share with us.
Good morning, Danny.
Good morning. Good morning. I missed you all. Grand Rising. I have been traveling, and I miss y'all when I'm traveling, but not but and I'm being obedient to Mama. I love spirit talk, and what Mama speaks of, we can all access that. Mm-hmm. We can access that. It's just by recognizing that we are not the body, as you said, but we are pure spirit. We are pure spirit. And if we would tap into that, I tell you, there will be some things that will scare you, as Mama said. It will scare the living daylights out of you. However, it is so awesomely rich to live in a space of spirit. Mm-hmm. I wanted to add too that I taught industrial safety classes for the City of Detroit Water Department. And you could not interject God's spirit, you just could not do it. And I take spirit with me everywhere I go. So it was a challenge for me to see how I can interject that spirit aspect of who I am into these, general safety classes, forklift classes, all of this kind of stuff, right? Yeah. So when it came to their safety, I would just express to them how marvelous they were created. So when we got to hand safety, I said, look at your hands. I said, nobody has the fingerprints that you're the only one that has this set of fingerprints. You can grab and hold and lift and, and I would try to interject the spirit of God into everything, how their eyes saw, how their ears got clean naturally by just chewing. We don't have to do nothing. All you got to do is chew. God made us so marvelously that everything we needed is right here. So when I started teaching in that way, when they would see my class on the schedule, they said, well, who teaching general safety or who teaching this? They say, oh, well, so-and-so is teaching that. No, I'll wait till Miss Stillwell teach it. I'll wait for her class because they knew that what they were brought here with, if you take care of it, and that's why my purpose was to be there to teach them to take care of themselves while they did their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
But when you recognize how just, you are God's greatest creation. Now, I could never say that to them. Oh, but the side conversations after class was amazing. Okay. Alita is on the call and they bought a course called Moving Towards Excellence. And part of the course, and Alita can attest to this, was empowering the people to recognize who they were, how powerful they were, and to move in the direction of your excellence. Now, they liked part of the class, but the part that dealt with the spirit aspect of it, whatever it is, they didn't want to teach us that.
Mm-hmm.
So they broke the book up, took out the parts that dealt with, being better employees and recognizing what you bring to the work environment. They took those parts, made a book out of that, and regulated the other part of the book across the street to the warehouse and stored it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Years ago, isn't that true, Alita?
that's true.
They broke that book up, gave us part of it, and took out the part and stored it across the street. Book had tapes and 3-ring binder, just an awesome book. Well, go down years later, I'm now superintendent of training. They wanted to tear down the building across the street. So I get this call, Miss Stillwell, we got all these books over here with these tapes. I said, what books? I said, well, bring me one, let me see it.
Wow.
Man, they brought those books across the street with the tapes that coincided with the lessons in the books and I'm telling you, I said, oh, since I'm the superintendent of training, guess what I'm about to do? I'm about to teach the class. How about that? I put that class online. I put the class online. I taught it one time. The chief engineer of the plant called me into her office and she said, we cannot teach that class. I said, well, why not? I said, why not? Because they were so unaware of who they were.
See?
They have a big fear about that too.
Okay. So when you are pure spirit. There's no way that you can't take you with you wherever you go. It's an impossibility.
Absolutely.
But if you would listen, as Mama state, everybody can reach that state where God speaks to you and all you have to do is obey. Just do what God asked you to do.
There's an African proverb that says obedience is better than sacrifice. And within the statement, it's telling you if you don't obey, you are sacrificing something, and something is going to be sacrificed. So there's two things I said. You are sacrificing something, which is humility and obedience to the power of God within, and something will be sacrificed. So say, for example, if you have been given instructions to, let's say, move that plate and set it on the table, and ain't no need for me to move that plate and set it on the table, that plate ain't doing nothing. And a few hours later, you hear something hit the floor and break. Your little kid is in the kitchen and accidentally broke the plate. Not only did he accidentally break the plate, he also cut his leg. See?
It'll be a domino effect.
Yeah, it is. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Dorothy.
I like to share an incident likened to that. As I was sitting on my sofa doing my hair and watching TV, and I was drinking a soda and drank it up. I said, I'm going to go get some more soda. Spirit said, you don't need any more soda. I said, okay. And I just took it at that. A few minutes later, a bullet came through my house.
Whoa.
Now, had I moved, it would have definitely hit me on either transfer going or
See?
coming. So obedience
See?
is better than
Obedience.
sacrifice.
Yes, yes,
Whoa.
yes. I can tell the story. It's walking in the streets of Detroit when I was in my 20s. I was going to radiology school. And I was walking down the street, and this is where I guess I start coming into listening, because I was rebellious and it's like, what? But walking down the street, Spirit said, cross the street. And I'm like, cross the street? Yeah, it's like, I'm fine right here. And I kept on walking. Spirit said it louder, cross the street now. It shook me, it frightened me, and I crossed the street. The girl behind me got robbed by the guys that was walking towards us. They
Wow.
snatched her chain and her purse, but Spirit moved me out of the way, just like that. Otherwise, I would have been that victim.
Yes.
That would have been you.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
See how wonderful this is?
Hard head. Mm-hmm.
Isn't this wonderful? Everybody is giving evidence of this great power that we're talking about. I mean,
just because you can't see it, it is there. It is divine energy.
Star, you want to jump in?
Yes, I have a story that I wanted to tell. This was years ago. I worked 3 miles from my home, so I would walk back and forth to work. So it was a Friday after 5, and I'm on my way home. Now, T.D. Jakes was in town, so me and my mother, we were going to go see T.D. Jakes that evening. So I'm walking home, and Spirit says, "You didn't ask me, can you go see T.D. Jakes?" I said, "Well, can I go see T.D. Jakes?" The Spirit said, "No." I said, "What do you mean, no? It's T.D. Jakes." And Spirit said, "No, you cannot go see T.D. Jakes. As a matter of fact, I want you to turn around and go back the way that you came." So I'm a little disturbed at that, but I obeyed, and I went back, and I went to, there was a bank building in the corner. So I went to the bank, and I called my friend, and I was telling her what happened. She said, "Well, just come on over." So I went to her house, and I never did go home that night. I just spent the night at her house. So Monday morning when I get to work, one of the guys that works there, he came up to the front. He was standing there looking at me. He had this weird look on his face. I said, "You all right?" And he said, "I am now." I said, "Well, what's going on?" He said that he was really concerned the whole weekend because there was a man that was sitting in his car at the light, and somebody came up to him and shot him. And then when they shot him, his car sped off and it hit the pole. And so the guy said, "The reason I was worried is because that happened. I know which way you go home. And that happened on your way home."
wow.
So had I not been obedient, I might have been caught up in the middle of that mess. So I just wanted to share that.
And I want to encourage all of us to share these moments with people. These aren't the things we're supposed to keep secret. These are the things we're supposed to talk about with people, because everybody has these experiences and some people aren't really sure what happened. So you can break it down or bring it up, to them to help them understand this process. This is a magic process. It's a magnificent process. The more I learned, I told my daughter years ago, I said, "Y'all gonna have a hard time when I leave this world, because my feet and legs are gonna still be dancing." So I said, I'm gonna be around long after the breath walks out of my body. But so as also another part of my book, to reflect on what you all just said, trusting that word, trusting your subtle energy, and that's what it is. It's very subtle, right? Nobody yelled at you. It came from within. It was very subtle. Trusting your subtle energy is the first principle in the development of the intuitive process, or rather, the awakening of your spiritual faculties. That's what's going on. Your spiritual faculties are awakening and has been awakening since you formed life within your mom. How do I know? Because these people have machines that they put folks on and they watch the baby move. I told my daughter, I never did that. I never did any of the things that they said we're supposed to do. I didn't go to the doctor for no examination and no checkup and none of that when I was pregnant. I said, my grandma didn't do it. My great grandma didn't do it. My aunties didn't do it. I want my baby to come like I came. So when my daughter got pregnant, she wanted to go and have that sound thing, ultrasound. I said, don't do that. Don't do that to you. The baby don't feel nothing. I said, you crazy. You think the baby don't feel nothing. The baby not dead. So she went, and as they put that stuff on her stomach and then put that thing that you can see the baby move, that child was moving as far as she could move away from it. Every time it came close to her stomach, my granddaughter moved back. And then when they got even trying to get closer, she moved up. She tried to get away from it. So we have this from the beginning of our creation. And people,
I never even thought about that. It's never been a thought that, wow. I mean, that's wow.
That's Ayaba. That's my head. My head go all kind of places most people head don't go.
Yeah.
But just think about it.
You know, Mama.
Just thinking about it, that when you lay that thing, that's
Yes.
that's a energy. That's
energy.
That's frequency. And
Yeah.
that child feel the pulsation.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we are pure energy. We are that. And so, Mama, I just want to say that when you said it's the first principle, our intuitive knowing that thing that God gave all of us, you know, everybody has a moment where they have said, I should have followed my first mind.
Hello.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I should have followed my first. Well, that was God speaking to you. That was Spirit speaking, you telling you what to do. And sure enough, let me tell you, obedience is greater than sacrifice.
Amen.
So that's your first and highest thought when God is speaking to you and when you hear it. So follow your first mind. It'll never betray you, ever.
That's my grandmama taught me when I was little. And I said, well, Big Mama, how you know the first mind from the second mind? She said, the first mind is God. And God don't yell at you. She said, it comes as a whisper.
Yes.
You got to lean into it.
Yes.
So you can hear it. Now you're looking, now let me share something about African culture. When you see the people do ballet, that means prostrate themselves before another person, they're not bowing to that person. The culture that you live is the practice of your understanding of your relationship with God. Let me repeat that. The culture that you live is the practice of your understanding of your relationship with God. I hope y'all write it down.
That needs to go into the chat right there, right there.
Ooh, baby.
So when
you ate your Cheerios today, Mama.
I know
Hey,
it.
girl, I'm drinking my tea.
Hey, speaking of tea, what y'all drinking? What's in your teacup? What's in your cup? What y'all drinking?
I'm drinking ginger, lemon, and ashwagandha.
Ah.
Oh wow.
I'm into the ginger. I got the ginger.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon. I got the ginger going on.
Mama.
Yes, ma'am.
So what you're saying is, as we do ballet, we are honoring the spirit that of God that person is representing. So
Absolutely.
if they are Obatala or Oya or Yemenya, or we are bowing to the spirit of that cultural entity known as, oh, you know, Yoruba or whatever. So it's not that person.
No, it's not the person.
It's
See,
not
like,
the person. Thank you.
No. And when you bow to
Because
the
I
king,
have,
go ahead.
yeah,
No,
because
go ahead.
I have the honor to be around so many people in the culture, and I was turned off by several people who were so you didn't dobale to me, and it was that me that turned me off when they said that, and it didn't feel right to me, Mama. So when you said that we are honoring the spirit of God that they represent, I get that. I get that.
Well, a lot of times they don't get it because some of them,
Yes.
depending on their age group, they've left some things behind, just like we've left some things behind. Yes, ma'am, Dorothy.
Yeah. I'd like to interject a spirit of sending a telepathic healing thought to Mama Razia, because she thinks she had a bout with food poisoning, and that's why she's not on. I called her to let her know that this is a very this is sounding like a very powerful meeting, and come on. And she was like, I got sick the other day, and I'm needing help to walk. So just send her energy, you know.
Definitely.
Amen.
It is happening as you speak.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sure she's got all the people around her that she needs to
Yes.
give her some information on how to purge herself of that influence. We have to be, let me explain something else about that. Okay. You see what we're doing? You know, in class, you learn in school, for every action, there's an equal and opposite or opposing reaction. You're not going to get away with not being opposed doing this work. You're not. So you have to gear yourself up. That's why I'm each time when I come on, I try to bring information about how to deal with this spirituality that you have, how to make it work for you. Because it's all right to talk about it. That's very intellectual. But what do you do when you're faced with the challenge that will come with it? Some people think, and they do this a lot in the church arena, some people think that God is just waiting to give you roses and flowers and grace and blessings. I heard that. But
how you say paradise.
Yeah. But the blessing comes with how you handle the challenges that come towards you.
Yeah.
Yes, Dorothy. And those now within the source set system, they go a step beyond that and help you to identify what the process is when you're faced with challenges. And those processes, as you were talking about the different names, for example, in the Yoruba system, those processes come under a system that in ancient Kemet is called the 11 laws, the 11 laws of God, the 11 laws of Ma'at. And each one of those laws represents what? How to handle challenges. God didn't throw us out. See, I asked that question. Now, y'all heard me say this before. I asked that question when I was a little girl, when my daddy's dog went over to the fence. He was sick. He went over to the fence and he ate something, and then he vomited and he ran all off. He was well again. And I said, wait a minute. You mean God done made the dog smarter than us, smarter than man? We just supposed to be a little lower than the angels? These thoughts were in my mind as a child. I didn't just wake up one day as a grown woman think about these things. I always had this kind of head. But that's because I came through that kind of family. My grandfather was a philosopher. My daddy was a wise man. And his way he practiced his wisdom, he would challenge you. He didn't care who you were. You could walk in that house a stranger and he'd challenge you. So when let's say, for example, we're in the cycle. We have cycles. Women know about cycles. We have cycles. Those who had cycles don't have it no more. We have another cycle. I don't know what it is, but we got it. And so we're in the cycle. It's a 21-day period each month from the new moon to the full moon. And right now we're in a cycle called Sekert. In ancient Kemet, T, if you hear a word that ends in a T, that represents the feminine principle. It does not end in a T, it represents the masculine principle. So Sekert is the feminine principle of the same energy, and Seker is the masculine principle of the same energy. So right now we're under the law of Seker. I told you earlier when we started talking, it doesn't matter if you don't know about it. That doesn't stop the law from existing. We didn't know about the law of a woman gonna menstruate. You know, little girls have that thing happen to them and they don't know nothing about the law. They can't stop it. The law gonna be in action whether you know about it or not. So Seker, I don't know if have any of you ever seen a picture of the tree of life?
Yes.
Okay. So if you've seen a picture of the tree of life, then I'm talking about the third sphere, the third circle on that tree of life. And it's called Seker. And Seker represents destiny, that man is able to affect. Remember, the sister just asked us to send the energy to the sister? That man is able to affect physical events and matter through a metaphysical force is evident by telepathy, direct communication from one mind to another. You think it's a coincidence that this thing I'm reading to you now popped up right after she said, send it? God is the orchestrator. We're just the instruments in the bag.
Mama, do you have a picture of the tree of life?
You know, I was thinking about it when I opened my big mouth. I said, show him a picture.
Bob, from the, can you see?
Bam.
Is it this one?
Yes.
Ayaba?
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is another version of it.
That's an example. Yeah, there's several different versions of it.
See, and at the top is Amen. And all their ancestors slick, they got everybody saying Amen all over the world. Right? So our ancestors, they weren't stupid, they were smart. So Amen, let me put this thing up here. Amen, see that O?
Yeah.
Call it a zero, but it's a circle of life. You don't know where it begins and you don't know where it ends. And it represents Amen, or what we call the creator, the great creator God. And then number one is Osea right there. That represents God now manifested in physical form. In this case, in man form or human beings or divine beings. Then you see number two,
Tahuti,
which is Tahuti, which represents the word of God or the wisdom of God. This is our blueprint. This is in every living soul. And this right here is where we are now, Sekert. Well, since we remember. That's the third on the tree of life, the third sphere on the tree of life. And it goes on down. I'm not gonna go, I'm just gonna do each one each month. So this month we're at Sekert, and Sekert represents destiny. Sekert is where our spiritual power is stored. It's through your experiences of life. And if you have these 11 laws, of course, you have a lot of help. But it's in our living of this life that we come to, like all these examples y'all gave, that we come to recognize and realize how this power works. And so where do you do it? You do it on the road of your life. You do it, it unfolds through your destiny. It is the storehouse of our spirituality that serves our destiny. I said it again. It's the storehouse of our spirituality that does what to our destiny? Our spirituality serves our destiny. Like Queen, how you pronounce your first name? Danny?
Danny.
Like Danny was
Yes.
saying what happened on her job. It was a storing, it was her spirituality that was stored within her that was not only driving her to bring this thing to the people, but it showed her how to do it. It might have come in the form of her thinking, figuring out and all of that stuff. But if it wasn't already laid out for that to manifest, she wouldn't have come to that point.
Yeah.
You go up a mountain, you want to do mountain climbing. Well, if you get from one point to the next, you got to do what? Move one foot in front of the other foot, in front of the other foot. There's no other way. That's what destiny is. There's no other way to live this life but the way we are living it. There's no other way. So when you reach this point in your life where you know, ooh, get to preaching.
Come on with it, mama. Come on.
They say, oh, she getting ready to preach now.
Come on, mama.
But where you know this thing is real, you know? I don't even know if I told everybody this. Maybe I shouldn't even talk about that.
Come on with it, mama.
Yeah, it's out there now.
It's out there now. You got to tell us.
The head done peaked a little bit.
That's right.
Let it come on. Let it come on. You can't take the baby back up now.
Okay, well, it might sound gross to some of y'all, but many years ago, maybe 40, 30, some.
Mama, hold on, because we're gonna do this in privacy. It is
let's do that.
Yeah, it's it is 9 o'clock. It's 1 minute till, and Facebook and YouTube, we gotta go. And if you want to join us, go to elizabethvisionaryconference.org and hit that button that says Zoom and come on and join us. We'll be here for another hour. We about to get real juicy here. So if you want to hear it, you better come on, elizabethvisionaryconference.org. Peace out.
Okay.
Peace out.
When I used to go to church, from the time I was probably born until I left and went to college, I was 16 when I went to college. And well, there was a young man there younger than me. He was 14. He went to my school too. He was really, really smart. And the man said that when you go to college, you become a college graduate, you can't be like the other people who didn't go to college and have all those children. He said, having those many babies, you can't even afford to take care of them. It's like a dog. Dogs have multiple puppies. I jumped up out of my seat. I said, my grandma had 14 children and she ain't no dog. And I got up and left. I never went back to orientation because I knew he was trying to psych our minds to live a certain way based on whether you're a college graduate or not a college graduate. And that's one of the reasons why you all might hear me break a few verbs and say some crazy kind of way of talking, because I resist that. I am not going to be your example of what I should look like because I went to college. If I want to stand up in front of an audience full of college educated people, then I can use those crazy words. And then after a while, I'll just stop and break it on down where it's supposed to be. See, I could have said suppose, but you know what I'm talking about. So I went and they sang this song about washed in the blood of Jesus. And I said, how are people gonna be washed in the blood of Jesus? Then there was washed in the blood of the Lamb, because the Lamb is supposed to be a metaphysical symbol of Jesus. And I said, these people lie. I'm just a kid, can I tell you? I said, they say they've been washed in the blood of the Lamb. They ain't been washed in the blood of no lamb. So somewhere in my mind, I said, if I want to be truthful, I got to get washed in the blood of the Lamb. Somewhere in my child mind, I know I said it. And so when I became this grown woman and I was living in New York, my main cultural teacher, who was Elder Rastafarian, who associated with everybody, everybody's culture. And an imam was over there, a Muslim brother, and he looked at me and they were talking, and I'm looking at them talking and looking at me. And they came over to me and said, you're gonna have to be, you have to sacrifice a lamb to purify your life. And I said, what does that mean? And said, a lamb is gonna have to be sacrificed in your name. So I said, you mean he gotta be killed? And they said, yeah. And they said, well, I said, well, I can't kill no lamb. And they said, you're not the one who's gonna do it, the imam is gonna do it. So they took me over to New Jersey to this place. You know, when you're in culture, you be open stuff. Man, I didn't even know there was such a place as that in New Jersey. I just looked at New Jersey as a city. But there it was, a whole big old farm full of sheep.
Full of all kinds of animals, right,
All
Mama?
kinds of animals. And the imam said, don't move, you just stand here, and the one that Allah sends to you will come to you. So I'm standing there, and this lamb, after about 5 minutes, came and laid his head on my hand. He said, that's yours, that's your lamb, your sheep. He took it back to Brooklyn, and you could hear that sheep. I'll never forget that sound, crying like a baby. And I said, he know he getting ready to die. And then when he knew, or when it was come time for the sacrifice to take place, the lamb just laid his head back like that and stopped bleating. That's what they call it. And stopped bleating, crying. And the imam went over there. I didn't see it. The imam went over there and did what he had to do. And he called me over there. He said, you see this lamb's heart, how white it is? I said, yes, sir. He said, that's your heart. You're a pure in heart person. He said, don't tell my teacher. He said, don't tell him, because his was kind of gray. And I don't want him to feel jealous or envious of you in any kind of way. I said, okay. So he said, but now the blood of the lamb, we're gonna put in this tub, and you go back in the back of the room and you undress and get in the tub and wash yourself. So I can truly say that I've been washed in the blood of the lamb.
Come on, Mama.
And someone asked me, well, how did you feel any different? How did you feel? What did you feel? I said, well, I remember when was it any different from baptism? I said, yeah, it was really different from baptism, because I was washed in water in the baptism, and there was a man there who took his hand like this. I did not like that. And so I was just about 9 or 10 years old, about nine. And but back there, I was by myself. It was me and God, me and the energy. It was no one else. And the feeling I had was something had been moved in me. Something had been not just moved, but like lifted. Like I'm talking about, and I'm getting to the, okay, I'm not on label on it, but like it like something in me was lifted from me. I became lighter. It felt like I was lighter, but I'm sure I wasn't. And so that was that experience. Queen Aduni, don't be pulling stuff on me no more.
I have to say, she went by herself, Mama. I was kind of cheering that on too.
Well,
yeah,
y'all like twins anyway.
I did too. Oh man, that's so awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Awesome.
And so when they do ballet, like I'll tell the children, the people I know who are in culture, if I go around into them, that's the first thing they do. Not do ballet to my Orisha. They're do ballet to the God that dwells in you. And if you are an elder, they better. It's like they don't care if you're a priest or priestesses will bow to an elder. You have to bow to the elder. You got to give them the respect of their road, of what they have walked in this world, of what they have learned, of what they have earned, of what they are saying to you. Another thing they do in culture, children are not allowed to stand over top of their parents. You can't talk to me. If I'm an elder and you talking to me, I tell my cousins, my nieces, never all of them. I said, excuse me, you asked me what? Well, I just wanted to know, well, I said, you must don't want to know, because my word ain't gonna go up. It's going down like water. So if you want to know what I got to say, you got to sit down on the floor. You got to sit beneath me. And then that knowledge will pour out of my mouth into your ear. You see? So I'm sharing this with y'all because I know many of us being brought up in the United States, we have no idea of what these practices are indicative of. They're not just doing it. It's connected to what I said earlier, to their relationship of the understanding of God. You gotta live it. When they go to make a drum, the guy don't just go in the woods and chop a tree. I mean, they could do that. They could not do the dobaling. They could not do the pouring of the libation. They could not do any of it. But doing it is a continual practice of the law. As above, so below. We are connected to God. What's the connection? Through the divine practice. That's what the connection is. We just may say a prayer or we'll bless our food. But these blessings are continuing all day, every day. And how do you bring up your children? You don't keep telling them, shut up, be quiet, and sit down, I'm gonna beat your butt, blah, blah, blah. If a child comes in the room and want to talk to you, especially in the Yoruba culture, they stop at the door and they do this 3 times to open the way to get your attention, to say to them, come in or stay there. So it's none of that craziness that we have to go through with our children over here, because children are taught from the time they can walk, the things they do to remind them of who they are. Yeah. So, any questions, any comments? Moving right on.
Mama, I just want to share. I have the distinct honor to be in the presence of many Yoruba priestesses over the years. And I have found myself on farms getting clean bad chickens and having, I tell you, and there are times when I used to say to them, and it was so funny, I say, do y'all remember I'm Baptist? Do y'all remember I'm Baptist? So I just want to honor you for sharing the culture with us, you and Mama Hawa. I just want to really, really acknowledge that it is rich, so rich. And it's our culture, it's ours.
Anything that's 10,000 years old, and you live over 10,000 years old, and you living in a country that ain't even 500 years old.
Hello, come on, Mama.
Let's think.
Yes, and they don't want you to know it. They don't want you to know it. And especially how much they stole of it.
Oh yeah.
And it's such an honor to walk in that light.
Yes.
When you walk in that light and know who you are, you can go among the others and they give you great respect.
Yes.
It's like I used to have relatives say, how do you feel? Don't you feel funny wearing my garment? No. It's working for me. It's not just fashion, you know, it's not a fad.
No.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
And when you walk it, talk it every day, you become it.
Yes.
Then it's so easy because you're like floating on through.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Those that say, oh my God, she's strange, she's weird today. That's all right. That's your thoughts. I ain't here for you. I gotta do
here for God.
I'm working on me.
The thing is that
Ayaba told me the other day, she said, you said something about perfect. What was the little phrase about perfect?
From perfect leaves perfect.
That's right.
I am working on perfect.
Yes.
I'm walking in perfect.
Yes.
Not your perfect, my perfect.
You cannot leave.
What works for me may not work for you, and vice versa.
But that's the things that we say in America, but that's erroneous talk too. The reason why it's erroneous is because we are one. What works for me will work for you. But I can't, you have to make that choice. I can't make that choice for you. And how do I know? Well, I might eat lettuce and quinoa. You might want to eat kale and rice, but we both eating, right?
We eating.
And it's on the same line. Yeah.
We both digesting and breaking down that food so that our body
So
can
that
stay
is
alive.
one. That is the same. That's one.
Yeah, it's one.
That's why I love you.
Yeah. And the food that you all are giving us this morning is the food of life. You know, this information that you share is food. And as I take it in and chew on it and swallow it and ingest it and digest it, it becomes part of my spirit and part of my system. So as the Mama Hawa said, you walk it and you talk it and people see it. Some are afraid of it because they see the light coming and they go the other way.
Yeah.
But everybody is attracted to the light.
Amen.
You
sister.
become the light.
I also have a saying too that you all probably never thought of. I'm gonna go negotiate with these people who have set themselves up as my enemy, because no one has enemies.
No.
God has no enemies.
There you go.
Cannot defeat
Yes.
God with your bad attitude.
That's right.
So
Right. Bring it.
So as you as you inculcate within your being that you are a divine being, and you know and realize from this day forward, all of those experiences that everybody's talking about they have, now you have to acknowledge and admit and live that you know what it is.
Come
Stop
on,
acting like
Mama.
you don't know what it is.
Yes.
Okay, so being that
That's
you know
right.
what it is, when you are confronted with these challenges, smile, baby.
That's right.
Because you
That's
know
it.
this is
it.
your opportunity to show people how God works.
That's right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
And
So,
the more you fight against it, that's where the suffering comes.
yes.
That's where
Say
the
that-
suffering
Say it
comes.
again. Say it
The
again.
more you fight against it, that's where you get the frustration and the fight and the suffering and whatever it is. It's just, it's spirit, and you were brought here to be pure spirit. And so, and everything that we've gone through, Mama, has been purposeful.
Purposeful.
It is
That's
all
right.
purposeful. And
It's-
so I just acknowledge you both. I swear to God, this is food for my spirit, for my soul. And it is just an
I'll
affirmation.
have it. It's just a little
We do.
reminder.
It's a
It's just
reminder.
a little something to say. Come
Okay,
on.
child.
It's a way of saying, you know, in a source that they say "Duanater." They say thank
Want to
you,
tear.
thank you, God. Or you can
yeah.
say thank you, God. I mean, you
Yes.
can say whatever you want to say. Allahu Akbar. God don't care. God gave you all these languages.
Use those
Right.
language. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, these people. Anyway, I gotta
Right.
stay on point.
But Mama, I just want to say to you, I thank you, because when you said, if I am of God, there is no negative in me. There's no, there's not, it's just like, I'm not against war. I'm for peace.
Yes, that's
Okay.
it.
That's
That's
it.
it.
I'm
That's how
not,
you word it.
that's
Yeah.
it. I'm not against, there's no spirit of againstness
Yes,
in me.
in you.
But
That's
I'm
right.
for peace. I'm for compassion. I'm for love. That's what I'm for.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
And those things are easy. When we're against something, it takes energy
Yes.
to hold that position. You know,
That's
you know,
right.
like you said, if you just say, I'm for peace.
Yes.
And you see my body just relaxed.
Yes.
I'm for
Yes.
peace.
Yes.
I'm for love. I'm
Yes.
for that. You
So
know.
it is the power of the words and how you use them.
Yeah.
Where's that piece? She's supposed to be here right now. All right, this here. Most people would rather not have obstructions and difficulties as part of life. We must understand that they are in our lives, not as mere occurrences, but by God's design. We were made for the purpose of becoming the vehicle of God's consciousness and will in the world. To qualify for this great honor, we must be pure, free of the negative and separative emotions of anger, fear, hatred, jealousy, envy, all that stuff, as antagonists of our essentially unconditioned state. That's what you all Queen Aduna was just demonstrating. Of our unconditioned state. They impede the manifestation of wisdom and spiritual power, or God expressing itself through us. Wisdom and spiritual power. We come to earth with our lives already planned.
Yes.
This is destiny. This is sacred. Planned for us are events entailing material losses, material gains, difficulties, and ease. They are all the same. Any type can bring us pleasure and pain. And if we have not regained the peace, then the pleasure will eventually yield to pain. Success and failure in life must be looked at from a divine perspective. Don't worry. This can only happen through the observance of the 11 laws, when you are being able to flow from pleasure to peace and from peace to pleasure, from pleasure to peace and peace to pleasure, not from pain to, I love that song though.
What?
Sunshine and rain.
I knew you were
Oh,
talking.
yeah. Frankie Beverly and Mays. Yeah.
Joy,
Joy and pain.
Joy and
like
pain.
sunshine
Sunshine
and
and
rain.
rain.
They
And see,
both
that's-
gonna come.
God speaking through everybody, through all of us. If you can just see the divinity within your life experiences. And these challenges come to give us the opportunity.
Come on.
Go
Come
ahead.
on, mama. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The opportunity to become divine beings, to become one with God. You see, we've been taught from our childhood the Western man's concept of God, which is a concept of separation, not a concept of oneness, even though they got the Bible right in front of their face. When Jesus says, I am in my Father and my Father is in me. That's oneness. You and your Father and your Father's in you. You and your mother's in you. They may call it genes and all them other fancy names, DNA. They're always coming up with something, sister, you all right? Okay.
It's just beautiful. I am. It's just too beautiful, mama. It is.
I really want to do workshops on this stuff, but I like I told Queen Aduna from again, I said, yeah, I got stuff, but I don't really know what to do with it. So
you're doing it, mama. You're doing it.
You're doing it.
I'm gonna have to make a rap with that. I am in my Father and my Father is in me.
Yeah.
Put it to some music, cause that's what people need to be saying.
Yes, see,
I
there
am
you
in
go.
my Father
Bring
and
it.
my Father is in
Is
me.
in me.
Back to that music. That's it.
Yeah.
So there is no real reason to worry about the difficulty. Something like that. Anybody? So where was I? Okay, I got to finish this right here. It's in this book. We talked about trusting your subtle energy is the first principle in the development of the intuitive process, or rather the awakening of your spiritual faculties. As you communicate and receive, check it out now. I wrote this is my book. As you communicate and receive communication from what? The earth, the air, the sun, the water, it becomes the process of meditation and visualization that is where? Always in tune with nature. Always in tune with the Netheru. Netheru is the way they took the word nature and got it out of there. Working to develop your garden becomes a type of meditation because you are focused, insightful, listening, seeing, and observing all that surrounds you while in the process of preparation to plant the seeds. This is self-cultivation. This is self-mastery, planting the seeds. No offense intended, but when we do things like have car accidents, get sick, fall down and break our neck. I fell down the other day, and I used to tell people when old people start falling down, they're getting ready to leave. But I ain't trying to leave, but I fell down. I thought I had been hit by a car. I hurt so bad. And then yesterday I was looking at the wounds, and I said, wait a minute, this all happened on my left side. Oh, I know what this is. God is saying, I'm tired of you holding back. Get up and give it. And I said, I got to give it because I ain't falling down no more. That hurt too bad. So Some people want to throw out the Bible. Some people want to ignore the Quran. God's word is God's word. You can't tell God how to talk. You can't tell God who to talk to. And I know we're getting ready to come to, how close are we to the end, sister?
Oh, we got
we're
time.
just at 9:22, and Dee,
Oh, good,
have your
good.
hand up when you get a moment.
All right, I'm gonna take about 10 more minutes on this. Everything, says Llewellyn Vaughan Lee, everything has a dual nature, positive and negative, masculine and feminine. The masculine side of love is I love you. But the feminine side of love for the Sufi is the longing, the cup waiting to be filled. The Sufi system, love is the longing, the waiting for the cup to be filled. And the other people's system is saying, I love you. And nobody really knows what that is. What is that? When you say I love you, what you really saying? That takes the seeker home into the arms of the beloved. And who is the beloved? Anybody want to tell me who the beloved is? Yes, ma'am. Yes, Miss Danny.
Ooh, we are the beloved.
Right here.
Go ahead.
We are the beloved.
Mhm.
We are the beloved. And as you stated earlier, God, the Father and I are one, the Mother and I are one, we are the beloved.
That's right. We are the beloved.
We are the beloved.
And the God that dwells in us is the supreme beloved.
Yes.
And we want to be wrapped in those arms. That's in the scripture too. One of them Psalms say, God, wrap me in your wings.
Mm-hmm.
What is the wings? The wings is your higher heights mind, your consciousness, your spirituality, your knowing this thing. And I mean, I give thanks. That's all I can say. The God of war has had his time. We are aware of the consequences of war. Many followers of Western thought are not accepting of the law of reciprocity as a continual interconnecting reality from one generation to the next. I hear these people over here, these young people in every generation, even in my own generation, saying things, but we don't do that no more. This African girl said to somebody in Detroit. Was it, yeah, were we in Detroit or no, we were in Indianapolis. And Hawa, was it you that came and told me? The girl said, we don't dress like that no more in Africa. We don't do that no more. Was that you told me that?
Yeah, actually it's been several Africans have approached me on that level. And one guy that was wearing a white shirt and suit pants, African, and me being me, he said, why do you dress like that? Why do you look like that? And I turned around and I said, why do you look like that? Why do you dress like that? You know, and then you broke it down.
Well, I actually asked whoever told me that. I said, well, take me to this girl. So I went over to where she was. And I said, you said this is not the way people dress in Africa no more? She said, no, nobody don't dress like that no more. That's for the old people. That's the old way. Don't nobody dress like that no more. I said, well, who you dressing like?
That's right.
Who are you dressing like?
Mm-hmm.
That's why the ancestors left you and came to me. That's why the ancestors left Africa and came to America, because we've been beat down so much, we don't have nowhere else to go but up.
There you go. There you go.
So I'm not dictating to people, everybody go dress in African culture. I'm not dictating, that's not what I'm doing. I'm telling you what the road is like. I'm telling you, I'm sharing with you that the honor and the respect that we have been given down through the ages as ancestors returning. We, each of us sitting here, are an ancestor.
Ancestor return.
We said we was coming back here. We said, and when I do, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. We said it. We put it in the air. We put it in the universe. And here we are. How do I know we said it? Would you like some proof on how I know we said it? Because I know, and I don't even know you all's life, but I know that every one of y'all sitting in here within the sound of my voice have had these experiences all of your life. You didn't start this when you got to be a grown woman. You knew things when you were little. You knew things. And I bet some of y'all who had a big mouth like me also probably had people say, where you get that from?
Where you get that
Who told you that?
from?
I ain't never heard that before.
I ain't never heard it. I said, I ain't never heard it either. I'm just saying it. And that other one, that other saying that we got. But I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Who is saying? What do you say? You said, well, I am just saying. Who's saying?
I am.
Right.
Yeah, listen to your own words.
That's right. Or even to how we know how to do things, and you were never taught it.
Never taught it.
Never taught
right.
it. You was like, how do I know how to do this? You know? It's amazing.
Yes. There's so much evidence around you of the continuity of Almighty God, of the creator, of Allah. There's so much evidence around you. And even in the Bible, it speaks of the evidence you got to collect. You know, there's no reason to walk around talking about I'm an atheist. But I talk to them too.
That's right.
I said, I understand the science on it. I said, the physicists call it the string theory. See, because they think because I look like this, I don't know nothing else. Come on, I got like this because of all of the stuff.
That's it.
That you know.
Yeah.
Woo.
So yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, Dietrich wants to join in the conversation.
Please do.
Well, Grand Rising. First
Grand
of all,
Rising.
I want to say thank you all for sharing what you have shared. I feel so free, like I'm flying, I'm high. This is great. Thank you so much.
Fly on, little bird. What's that song?
There you go.
Fly, black butterfly. Fly.
Yes,
Black
yes.
butterfly.
And I want to know,
Yeah.
can we is your book for sale? I would love to support you in getting that book.
Well, thank you. Yes, ma'am. My books are for sale. I'm trying to work my way to Detroit to bring them, but soon as the guy that's making my copies is finished, I will send some to Aduni if I can't make it. But I'm planning on making it. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, Mom.
Yes, we are all in agreement that you will make it. We are all agreement sisters, right?
That's right. We need you here in Detroit. Come on, Mama.
Yeah, y'all some powerful energy up in that place.
Mama, where are you? Where are you located?
Right now I'm in Maryland.
Oh, Maryland.
What part of Maryland you at, Mama?
Silver Spring.
Stop
Oh my
it.
goodness, my daughter, my stepdaughter lives there. Oh.
I worked in Silver Springs for years, and now I'm in Potomac and Upper Marlboro.
What?
Yes.
Get out of here.
As a matter of fact, I'll be there. I'm traveling there next month. I'm gonna holler at you, Mama.
202.
I am. I promise you I
That's my
am.
phone number, 202.
Okay.
202-705-6899. 202.
All right.
6899.
All right, Mama.
And as Hawa and I, we have a little thing we created called oh Lord, I can't think of it. A medicine woman on wheels.
Oh yes.
I love it. I love it. Oh, that's good.
Medicine women on wheels.
Ooh, that's been a while too. Yeah.
And this right here is a part of it too. Someone asked me last week, I think it was that had Rue, about this.
The chakras.
And because I was teaching on the other names for the chakras, like the Sahasrara, the Ajna, the Vishuddha, the Anahata, Manipura, Swadhisthana, Muladhara. And then there was the Guru chakra. She said she had never heard of that. So there, I have other things, material I would bring as time thrust us forward.
Oh, show that again, Mama, please.
Oh, I got it right off of Google.
Okay.
I asked somebody, and I didn't know who was taking it on to teach, to do a teaching on all the chakras and stuff. I don't know if it was you and Mama Hawa that was going to do it, or no, whenever. There was no time, because I know you had to pull it together. Not that you already don't know it off the top of your head, but
present it right.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was you or at Peace and Wheelie that was going to do it.
Well, all of us can bring it to the light.
Yeah.
Bring
Right,
it to the
right,
light.
right.
Now I'm gonna tell you about the hard part. No, there's no hard part. I'll tell you about the challenging part. Every night before we go to bed, before we go to rest, say for example, we are in the sacred cycle. So before we take our rest, we will say these things here. Law of Seker. All men are destined to become divine men. All life challenges are necessary and obligatory means of cultivating the divine nature. Why is this taught? That's taught because, say for example, remember I told you draw the circle and put the dot in the middle, and that Heru can see all things. So Heru, the seer, sees that he has a choice, or that we have a choice just before we fly off. Just before we go, wait a minute. Just before we go, what Trevor Noah said, nigga, please, just before we say that, or think that, we have the choice of not going there.
Yeah.
And when we teach others, and we're not the one who's being challenged with our emotions, but someone else is, you'll say, think before you speak, don't go there, don't go there. Just calm down, just be quiet. We all teach it, but it comes from the law, these different laws, and it says that all these challenges are necessary means of cultivating the divine nature. So you stop before you give into that negative energy, before you explode, before you blow up, you see. Bob Marley says in one of his songs, we're saying prayers to the devil when we argue. I shall say that again. Bob Marley says, when we argue with one another, we're saying prayers to the devil because it only feeds that type of energy.
Yeah.
Make a list.
In the nation, they say to think 5 times before you even speak, to think it. Because each time you come with that thought, you can improve on what you're trying to convey before you say it.
So I'm gonna give you
so rushed.
I'm gonna give you some steps. Make a list of situations in which you are still indulging the thought that certain major obstacles and difficulties in your life are unfair or unnecessary, and the fault of doing of others, and the fault or doing of others. We can think on that, we can talk on what somebody else did. And when the kids say, well, he made me, nobody makes you do anything.
Nobody made you.
You grow up with that. It's just a way of saying, I'm not at fault. I don't want to be punished. But it doesn't matter whether you are punished by your mother, your father, or whoever's your disciplinarian, because these laws, when you break them, there are 2 things waiting for you. When you break it, you're waiting for the consequences of your actions. And when you follow the laws, you're waiting for the blessings that come with that. It doesn't matter whether you know about it or not. You see, just like I told you, I fell down. I mean, I really, really, really hit that ground. Sacred declaration. So at night, before we go to sleep, we do these declarations. I teach people to do it within the cycles rather than try to do all the declarations at one time. But one of them says, I have not berated my fate. In other words, I have not complained about the way my life is turning out. I have not grieved over setbacks and failures. I have not worried over possible obstructions. Well, we do what that I'm just giving you the straight line, but the actual thing is, I have not worried over possible obstructions and I'm working on it, and I am transcending it. I have worried. I have worried over possible obstructions and I am transcending.
Yes.
I have not coveted the goods of others. But if you have, even something simple, like walking down the street and this girl got on this fabulous coat, and in your mind, you thinking you just complimenting the coat. But what you're doing is wishing you had that coat. So it's, hello. I have not coveted the goods of others, or I have coveted the goods of others. and I am transcending it.
Mm.
The I am is very important.
Yes.
Because you must speak in the present tense. You don't say I am going to, because as long as you say you're going to do something, you never get there.
Right.
You just keep going. I have not indulged the thought that my destiny is worse than that of another. Or I have indulged the thought that my destiny is worse than that of another, and I am transcending it. Yes, yes, Dorothy. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to make a comment on the previous statement, Law, that you made. I complimented a sister on how beautiful she looked. And she simply said, that's just a reflection of you in my eyes.
Mm. Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Humility is worth its weight in gold.
Yes.
So that was very humble of you.
Yeah.
See, we can find the right words to say, we can find the right thoughts to think. And but it's work. We're working. I think somebody I was talking to said worship, but worship is workship.
Work.
All the ship of life working on your destiny.
Yes.
To become a divine being.
I love that, Mama.
Then
I compliment just to make people feel good. And I guess that's what I want in return, is that feel good.
Well, part of the feel good is how you feel when you say it. Is that what you're saying? Okay. And every month there's a different law. Next month, I don't know which one it's going to be, but whatever one it is, I will share with you all that as well. And you can go online. I'll put it up in the chat. I think Empress Kamarie Kuntasa Bayel can probably put the address where you can send for all of this and join the classes and get this information on your computer yourself. But it doesn't matter to me. I don't mind sharing it at all. So can we show the video?
Yes.
I have a video I want to share with you all. I'm in the video, but it was created by brother Gerard. Remember Gerard, who came and he was I think my first male guest. And Gerard he created this and produced this video. And the reason I want to show it is because all that we have been sharing with one another today represents the keys and the steps in our transformation. He has visually captured this. So I would like to share with y'all, and I hope you all enjoy. How long is it? 3.5 minutes?
Yeah, I think it's about 4 minutes. Yeah.
About 4 minutes. So sit back, relax, and take it in.
I say.
We'll talk about it afterwards.
For 10.
In my eyes, it was a pleasure to just saw. Hours flash by like a minute of just more. Old souls, now new friends. I'm feeling hurt, sure. Excuse me, miss. Yo, what up?
Can y'all hear it?
It's a little choppy.
It's choppy. Yeah, it's choppy.
Yeah. I don't know what's up, but look, we got to take it as it is.
All right, I think that's just the background.
So
what happened here, one of his boys called him to come outside. If this doesn't work, Dooney can tell you where to find it on YouTube.
ooh, yeah, yeah. Time is on my side today. Feels like I'm gonna do something new. Manifesting lessons and power moves. Negative people stay away. no. Just wanna get back simply what I give. And I'm focused on my positive. And the sun's gonna shine. Cause now's my time. Enjoying life. And I'm alright. Look to the sky and dream away. It's just the start of lucky days. Feels like lucky days. Just fade away. Today's my lucky day. Today's my lucky day. And the way, c'est toi, Ashe. Today's my lucky day. Today's my lucky day. And I feel it getting stronger. I'm right on time for destiny. And everything that's meant for me. No need to worry any longer. It's greater than this mortality. Making love to my reality. And the sun, yeah, yeah. Enjoy your life, yeah. And I'm alright. Look to the sky. Look to the sky. Dream away. It's just the start of love. Feel like lucky days. Looking in the mirror. So proud of what I see. It's clearer each and every day how to truly be free. Just today's my lucky day. Today's my lucky day. C'est toi, Ashe. Today's my lucky day. Whatever I want, I'm gonna get it out to rain. Just fade away. Today's my lucky day. Oh, lucky day. C'est toi, Ashe. Today's my lucky Today's my lucky day. Yeah. Oh, oh, oh,
What do you think? Y'all are free to comment.
It was nice. I enjoyed it.
What do you-
Lovely, yeah.
What did you see happening in it?
He had an awakening.
Yeah.
He had an awakening that he said, you know, I can't continue to live my life this way.
Yes.
You know, I cannot continue to do that.
What happened before he woke up to that? He had to get what?
Yeah, beat
Beat
up.
up.
Yeah,
Beat down. Yeah.
yeah,
See, and he didn't have to do that. He could have listened to the voice in his head before there was an altercation taking place in his life.
Right.
But that didn't happen. And then who did he return to in order to get his transformation? The what?
Woman.
Hello.
Right.
See, not just any woman, the
Yeah.
spiritual woman, the transformer,
yeah,
the one that could inspire him. And then he had to go to the medicine woman, the one who had to heal him.
yeah.
See, that's what we, ooh. Mm.
Mm.
Anyway, that's what we do, inspire and heal.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. And I tell people that if I had known this stuff back then, I'd still be married to the same guy, because I left because I don't want to go through no more of that crazy. But at the same time, when I look back on it, we were all going through craziness.
Yes.
He wasn't going through craziness by himself. We're all going through it. But this is the way we learn.
Yeah.
We come this far by what? We've come this far by
By faith,
faith.
by faith.
Leaning on what? Leaning on the
Trust
Lord.
in the Lord.
See, but I said
Not
Lord.
on our
Leaning
understanding.
on the,
law,
you know,
yeah.
leaning
Yeah.
on the Lord. You know, what's his name? One of those writers, he used to write in dialect, and a certain generation of Black people was shamed because he was not speaking straight ahead good English. Uncle Remus Tales.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
But if you remember, the way he wrote Lord was L-A-W, apostrophe D.
LAW, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one of these weeks, I was going to tell y'all back when I was first talking earlier on that I've been wondering, where is my Hebrew book? Where's my Hebrew language book? And a few days ago, I was looking over here behind me at the bookcase, and I said, let me straighten up these books. Why that book laying down like that? That was the book.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
So next week, or one of these weeks, I'm going to share with you about the Hebrew language breakdown and how each of those letters actually spell the word. The meaning of the word is in each of the letters. Another example of this continuity of how this God energy flows through everything.
Everything.
Yes.
And we have an opportunity, those of us of Native American and Native Indian and African American descent, we have an opportunity, the melanin carriers, to do our job.
Yes.
We love people. We
Yes.
love God. We love love. We love creating. We love sharing. We have the opportunity to be ma'at on this earth, to be the love of God, to be the love of God on this planet. But
Yes.
to do that, you got to live it. You can't be all pieced out 1 minute and ready to knock somebody in the head the next minute.
Right.
So we'll work on it. We're working on it together and all that. So I'm not bowing out. I'm just chilling to give y'all the opportunity to share too.
For some of you we haven't heard from, step up to the plate and Emily, just share what you got out of today.
Hello, beautiful people.
Hey, Lily B.
Hey, Lily.
Hi. Hi. So from what I was hearing, and I just literally chimed in because what she said kind of busted me over the head when she said, you can't be both. You have to have a balance. Like you can't be feeling good and on the righteous path, and next minute in the middle of the road, cussing somebody out due to road rage. I'm working on that. I'm working on myself now, y'all. I really am. I've been working. My daughter even caught me doing self-talk because that is a very important thing of stopping myself from saying something and reversing it into a positive thing. Because sometimes it gets hard. But I'm working and I love y'all.
I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna give you some tools that you can use so you don't have to be working so hard. Ain't about hard work. Just
I'm
flow.
working. Thank you. I appreciate every tool.
If you get in the water, I know everybody in here been in the water sometime in their life, and you start sinking, if you start fighting, you're gonna die. Right? You gotta relax.
Yes.
So in this process, on this destiny, we got to learn to relax, and you need tools for that. Many of you are already doing meditation. Many of you are already doing guided meditation. What you now want to do with that is when you go into your meditative state, when you reach that, see, as soon as I do that, I'm drunk already. But when you go into your meditative state, you want to be able to recall that in the times when you're ready to blow up and explode.
Okay. Thank you for that too.
I'm gonna give an example. Speaking about struggle, I had, it wasn't a dream because I was clearly awake and I thought it was a dream. And I struggled to get up and I struggled to move. And at that time, my husband, he had got up, went to the bathroom, came back, walked around the room, and can't you see? I couldn't speak. I was frozen, but I was struggling and I was struggling. It's like, can't you see me moving? Can't you help me? And then something said, well, do the reverse. Become very calm. Free yourself fall in, give in. And when I did, the spell broke and I could move and I could breathe. And you should see me, I bolted up and didn't you see me struggling? And he said, no, you were asleep.
My grandma mother-in-law at the Hague riding you.
Oh, I need, because that used to happen to me a lot. They said it was sleep paralysis.
And
but
when you
that used to-
release and you give in,
Mhm.
it's like an out-of-body experience. And
Yeah.
it frees you. And so I use that like in anything in life. When you start struggling, it only get worse, it get tighter, you choking. But when you go the opposite, which is not, then it's like, you're
Yes.
free, and you can float.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate all those two sweet, beautiful ladies. I will be utilizing them.
Danny, you was jumping in?
I just very quickly, I just want to say to Lily and to all of us, when we claim hard, I heard her say, it's hard, it's hard. When we claim that, that's the experience
That's
that we're going
it.
to have.
That's
So
it.
don't claim
Claim it and
hard.
claim it. Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Mama
Release that
Ayaba
claim and
said,
claim it.
right, I may be challenged by this, but I'm ascending,
Yes.
okay?
Absolutely.
But I'm ascending. And so we can relanguage our experience of a thing. So yeah.
For me, I was thinking about, okay, how was this day and how was this whole process here? And Mama Yaba, I kept thinking about the circle. I don't know, you can see my little circle. I kept thinking about the circle. And I found, I really love studying Adinka symbols. I put it in my art. And it reminded me of Ohene Aniwa. And it's the circle in Swahili. And the circle is like, this is you. And this is all your eyes, your many eyes that look all around you in that circle. You can see the parameter, you can see. And I kept thinking about this circle. That's why I went and got this book, how this is us. And this is all that we see around us. And I thought that was quite touching. And you said that was that, is it sector? Not
Second.
Securd. Is that an example of Securd?
Well, yeah, in a way, because you're talking about your destiny, talking about your path, your road, anything that has to do with your road, your map. You know, think about this. How could you be brought into this world by the most divine, most all-knowing energy anybody ever have heard of or experienced and not have a roadmap?
Yes.
A blueprint, a guide.
A blueprint. Look at her. Yeah, a blueprint. That picture I showed you of, let me take it out again. This right here. This is what we all look like. This is what we all look like inside. You can fit this into anybody's culture. You can put it at the top of Olodumare and put Obatala and Shango and Ogun and all the rest of them right there. You can put it in the Quran and put Allah at the top, and then put all the different angels and names of the prophets and all of that stuff on there. It fits anything and everything. Yes, ma'am.
Deetra's hand was up. One second, Dorothy. Go ahead, Deetra.
Okay, you know what? I think I never put it down, but
okay.
So I don't want anything.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think on that.
Dorothy, where is she?
Yeah, I was thinking on the struggle. When you get in a struggle, I tend to hear the words, "Be still and know that I am God."
That's it.
And then I speak to myself that I will get to the other side of through. I will, you know, and my spirit becomes calmer, and I literally wait on the passing or move in the passing of you know, of any struggle. But yeah.
Yeah, you know, my mother-in-law, she used to always say, this too shall pass. And that's true. You know, it will, whatever you're going through, good or bad, it will pass.
Yeah.
And as I try to acquaint you all with these laws, you're going to find that there's no good or bad. You will realize that whatever you're going through, it's all good.
It's
I
all
mean,
good.
that's another thing we say in the community. It's all good, right? I mean, there's certain phrases
Mhm.
black people say that
Mhm,
represent all these different things we're talking about.
mhm.
It's all good. Give it over to God. He can
Mhm.
handle it, you know, stuff like that. But I'm now moving myself into saying it can handle it because it cannot be a gender. I don't see how it
Mm-mm.
can be a gender. Energy can't have gender.
Mm-mm.
Mhm. It's the mind say, count it all joy. It's all joy.
Yes, it's
Count
all
it
joy. Yeah.
all joy. Mm.
Yeah, angel voice woman, go on.
Where's that guitar? Where's that guitar?
Oh,
We're gonna close out with a guitar. All right, you guys, listen in, listen up.
Mm.
oh, Lord have mercy. If I could just get this other song out my mind. I'm trying to sing one song, but this right here, I'm just gonna share with you because I gotta get it out.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. Under the baobab tree. Oh, what a revelation that was revealed to me. Sisters standing long circle around, every point their fingers touch, from the sky to the ground. I remember the time when we used to sit right down to eat. Mama, daddy, papa, sister, brother, everybody there looking so neat. Oh, I wish we had those days. I wish they were here to stay. Everybody would have a roof over their head, somewhere to make their bed.
Did you go into my office for something?
Love,
No, I've been in here.
love,
I'm in my office, my door is just wide open. I went back into
I
my
said love.
my drink.
Oh,
On the computer.
love
And I wasn't even
is
in
the
it.
key.
I hear you, Mama. Go ahead. Get started.
Yeah.
Oh, get started. I'm ready.
Jah love, Jah love, Jah love. Talking about Jah love. The early morning star ushering in the day. The bright sunlight clearing the dark away. I'm talking about Jah love, Jah love. Every day is a new day to see, to live and love and let ourselves be free in Jah love. Talking about Jah love, singing about Jah love, talking about Jah your love. Every day is a new sensation. I surely found this great African nation in your love. Your love. Your love. Your love. Talking about your love.
Say, everybody unmute themselves.
Ashe, wonderful, great,
Oh,
great,
Mama.
great.
Oh, praises.
Morning
Mama.
time.
Yes, yes,
I mean that in a good way, in the rising of the day.
Mhm.
yes, beautiful.
It was kind of rough over here.
Yeah, it was delicious. It was simply
No.
delicious.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got to hit the road.
Yeah, I want to hit the so like
I just want to make a few announcements, and that is that on the 14th, so I'm hoping, I'm praying, I am standing that Queen Ayaba and Queen Hawa will be here along with Fana. I know she's already gotten her ticket and stuff because we have a lot of work to do. Pam, our star, has put the word out to the women, as many as she's able to talk to, about what our plight, I guess that's the word, is, and God is calling us forth. But on the 14th, which is the Thursday, the African World Festival is the 15th through the 17th. On the 14th, we are doing a book backpack drive for the children at my shop. And that will be from 6 to 10. So we want to tell people either they buy it or they can donate financial, or they can bring, supplies for the book bags. The book bags will be given out at hugdetroitday.com. Oh, not at the .com, but Hug Detroit Day. Which is a festival that Sky Covington and I put together, and this is our 10th year. So we shut everything down, and we have music and dance. It's a festival, a nice festival. So we want to have things for the children, book bags and such, so that we're doing that. And then on that Sunday, so I'm hoping that those who come can stay and leave Monday morning or something like that, because we are going to do our first Elizabeth Kitchen, but we will also have like a mini Elizabeth Visionary Conference that day. We will be doing things all that day, speaking, and people coming in and we sharing in that light. And we'll talk more about that. But I wanted to share that on the 14th and the 17th of July is key. And then November, we will be doing a larger conference, probably at a hotel or something like that. And then we all need to come together and talk about where we're going to go in February. That's when we're going to go. It's cold out here, so we're going to go somewhere where it's warm and be taken care of, because as light workers, caregivers, we don't take enough time out for ourselves. So we want to talk about where we want to go so we can put together not our pennies, but our millions together, so that we can go in style and we can have a wonderful time, allowing someone else to take care of us, not us taking care of each other. Do you get that? It's us being served by others, so that all of us get to just chill, and share with one another. Also, coming here in July, I really have some things I want to share with you. I'll be bringing some things out before then, but I want to share with you where is Elizabeth going? Mama Ayaba had asked me, so what's your dream? What do you see? What's happening here? This is only a beginning, which started a long time ago. And here we are all together, but there is a mission and that we want to talk about. I really want to know what you are passionate about and what do you want to see in your future. It is one of my assignments is to help that to happen. No matter what age we are, it doesn't matter about that. We need we want our visions and dreams to get out there and be blessed and used for the people, for the masses. And we will be blessed as a result of that. Like I said, my space, who I am the one who creates the space and the opportunities for people to express and experience their full self-expression, your passion, and get paid. But there's things that we have to do. God is going to take care of the and get paid, but we have to set it up right so that people will see your vision and run with it. He said, write the vision down, make it plain upon tablets, make it plain so that men will see it and run with it. They will see it. They'll see what you've written down. They'll see the pictures and all that stuff and say, wow, this is good. And they will say, I got this. I can do this. I can handle this part. She can handle that. I know somebody who can do this. That's what this is about. It is not just about girly girly. It is about women coming together to do the work that and Star had shared. I want you to share it one more time. What our mission is or what's about to happen, and we want to be ready. Star, and then we'll be complete. Or unless someone wants to say something.
Okay. Well, let me start here because I know Danny hasn't heard this part. And I'm not sure about Dorothy. But God does have something for the Elizabeths to do. And at some point, and it will probably be this platform, God will reveal what that is. But God showed me this and I wanted to share it because I know Danny and I don't think Dorothy has heard it. I saw a God and it was right after she had created the woman. And God is standing there and looking and admiring his creation, how beautiful she is. He made her wise and strong and indestructible. And he's very proud of his creation. So he reaches inside the woman and he takes out her power and he hides it within himself. And he says, the power of the woman must stay hidden. So after he takes her power, he places her out there and he says, and all kind of stuff is being thrown at her. Whatever you could think of is being thrown at the woman, but she does not fall. She stands because God made her indestructible. So then God says, well, she's ready, and he places her down in humanity. Now, all kind of things has happened to the woman. Man was allowed to make her think she wasn't nothing, that she's under his feet. All of these things have been allowed to happen to the woman because the power of the woman must stay hidden. So God says, now is the time for the power of the woman to be revealed. Now the message is, if you choose, well, wait a minute. With great power comes great responsibility. So if you choose to receive your power in its fullness, know that there's a responsibility that goes along with that. Now, God also showed me that we are not that far from the 1,000 years of peace, and that what I had told you before, which I'll say again, is that God is speaking to women all over the world. And at some point, there will be an announcement, or every woman will know to go to a certain place in their respective countries. And whoever decides to respond to that call will go where they are led to go. And at the same time, all over the world, we will all cry out to God. Now, by then, every woman who wants their power will have it. In whatever, every woman's power is different. And depending on your conversation with God will determine how much of your power you receive or you take. So that cry will usher in the 1,000 years of peace. We are now in the time of the third shift that will impact the world. And it is time for the woman to do one of the things that she was created to do. That's what I wanted to share, and what God wants the Elizabeths, because she wanted me to make sure that I let the Elizabeths know. So y'all just get ready.
Ashe.
Thank you for those words.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dorothy?
Yes, I just want to leave everyone with this, that, and I'm reminded of it constantly, women are the essence of the universe. Know that your power is that of the universe. So I leave everyone with that. It's a
Oh, and one more thing. Religion is not a requirement.
Mm-mm.
Being a woman or a girl is.
Say that again, Pam.
Religion is not a requirement. Being a woman or a girl is.
Woo!
That's right. Remove those
Yes.
titles.
Mhm. Yes.
Yes.
And it also does not matter how you cry out to God, whether you say the Lord's Prayer, whether you chant, whether you just talk, whether you speak in tongues, it does not matter the cry. It's just doing it all at the same time.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Wow.
Ashe.
What a day, what a day.
What a
I got
day.
my vitamin,
What a day.
my medication for the day. I'm ready. I say.
Ah.
Woo!
What a day, what a day, what a day.
I say.
Ooh.
I just love you all. Mama, you gonna say something?
Take speaker, mama. Take your Mama Yaba. There you go.
Said love y'all. Stay in love. Stay in love.
Stay in love.
Love and light.
Hug yourself.
That's right. Deep out to you all. Yes.
Yes, definitely.
And hug the world.
Hug the world.
Have a wonderful day.
Have a wonderful day, y'all.